You're listening to the Zine Collector Podcast, episode 24, Wrapping Up and Moving Forward. Hello, and welcome back to the Zine Collector Podcast. I'm your host, Nyx, your fluffy zine enthusiast from the south of Australia. Let's talk about zines. Well, first, let's say a very happy new year. It's a bit of a belated new year, but a happy new year to you nonetheless, to each and every one of you. I hope that the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020 has brought you wonderful things, has brought you hope and dreams and goals and all of that good stuff. I do really love New Year's. What can I say? The appeal of a clean slate. I'm sure I've said that many times over about New Year's Eve, but yeah, it's still every time. The older I get, the more I like it. I don't know what that says about me or anything about that, but yes. Anyway, 2019 was a pretty difficult year for me, both business-wise and personally. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of stuff that I'd really love to tell you about. But again, there's still so much happening, and I'm so sorry for being vague. But all of a sudden, I lost my way. I lost myself in a lot of ways, and I want to start the first episode of the year by thanking you, by thanking all of you for your kindness, your support, your understanding, and especially your patience, especially your patience. Thank you so much with all of my heart for everything. It just, it really got me through, and it continues to get me through as things process. But what can you do? Upward and onward, right? Because I have very high hopes for this year. I am looking forward to a lot of things. I am planning a lot of things as always. Yes. Lots of planning, that's for sure. So let's dig in further to this episode and start spreading a little sunshine. And we can start out with announcements. Notes and announcements. Now, the first announcement / note that I would like to make was actually one of the questions I received as part of the call out for the Q&A section of the podcast, but I really wanted to address it right away because wonderful, amazing, and caring people have been asking, and FSAwesome_Caitlin asked if I'm okay in regards to the Australian fires that are happening right now, and wanted to check in regards to that. And I want to say completely, I am okay. I am okay. I am safe. The the fires that happened shortly before Christmas did get close, but I wasn't in any danger. And yeah, I am all good. I am, and I thank everyone who has sent out thoughts and has asked, and thank you so much for caring. I promise that if anything happens like that life-wise, that would take me away from my home, or if something happens like that, I promise I will do my best to get an announcement out so you know what's happening. But yes, I'm absolutely safe. The thing though is that while I'm all good, there are still a lot of fires going in Australia right now. We're currently gearing up for our next heat wave where I am locally. And there are a lot of people who have been affected already, who are dealing with it right now, and who may have to deal with it in the future, given temperatures are doing what they're doing and that the fires are doing what they're doing. So please send your thoughts, your prayers, your good wishes, everything to the people of Australia and the wildlife of Australia, and show your support in that way. I know that people just asking if I'm okay has meant a lot to me. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask and check in with your Australian friends. Let them know they are loved. And if you can support in other ways, like through Red Cross, or if you're more local, donating like water and food and clothing and all sorts of things like that. I'll try to include some links in the description of where you can do that, because everything is greatly appreciated. But know that if a thought and a prayer is all you can contribute, that's still contributing to just hoping that Australia can get through this. So thank you. And thank you to Caitlin for asking. But yeah, I wanted to address that straight away. And yeah, I will, if I'm ever in any sort of strife, I will get the word out. The next note I have here on the list makes me feel a little bit silly, to be quite honest with you, because YouTube comments. Now, when I first started my YouTube channel, I relied pretty much exclusively on my emails to let me know that comments had been left on the videos, and many wonderful people have left many wonderful comments on the videos that I've put up, Happy Mail and podcasts and vlogs and all sorts of things. And the thing is that for about 6 months now, I had no idea. I really had no idea, because I'd been relying on emails. When the emails stopped coming in, it didn't click to me for whatever reason. And yeah, I have not been replying to comments on my videos on YouTube, and I'm so sorry for that. I didn't realize until just recently. I can't even remember what it was I was doing that led me to discovering this. But yes, it's been months since I've replied to any comments, and I can only apologize. I'm so sorry. I am catching up on comments. I'm working my way through them, because I will reply to them. So if you said something about 6 months ago and you suddenly get a reply from me, that is why. I'm not slacking so much as I was completely oblivious, so I'm sorry. And now I know, and now I'll try to figure out why I wasn't receiving emails about comments, so this sort of thing doesn't happen again. But yes, wow, there are quite a few still to reply to, and yeah, I just had no idea. So I do feel a little bit silly, but as I will probably say a few more times in this episode, upward and onward. The next note I have is for the blog, seagreenzines.com. I am now, the blog is now open for your calls for submissions, your announcements about zine-related projects, your announcements about events, and all sorts of zine-related things. I post them. I post them every Saturday and Sunday. Rolling calls for submissions are welcome. Even if you want it posted every other week for the rest of the year, that's what I do. That's what Sea Green Zines, well, it's one of the things Sea Green Zines is for. And yes, please send them in. I love sharing events and calls for submissions and things like that. I'd love 2020 to be a year of the collab zine, if I can somehow convince people that should be a thing. But yes, if you would like to help spread the word about what you are doing, whether you're asking people to contribute to your zine or you're spreading the word about getting your zine put together, or I recently internet met someone who asked me to spread the word about a panel they were doing at a conference where they had the panel was about zines and was zine related. So yeah, pretty much anything. I haven't encountered anything that I haven't wanted to post up just yet. So definitely email me at seagreenzines@gmail.com. Everything will be in the show notes, so I don't have to spell out the whole email address. And sort of along the same lines in regards to getting the word out about your zine event, definitely check out the Zine World Calendar. It is still going. It is still going strong. It is your spot to find amazing zine events that are happening all around the world. It's super brilliant. It's easy to read. It's set up as a spreadsheet. And all you have to do is get in touch and send the details, and your event will be listed too, because you never know who's going to be looking at the calendar, and you never know who might have that as their one way of going, oh, hey, that's happening, and then they show up and all that good stuff. So yes, again, this is going to be a podcast with a rather link heavy show notes section, but definitely worth it for all the wonderful, wonderful details. And in today's final note, it's still along the same lines of zine events. I am very, 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 very happy to say that Festival of the Photocopier 2020, enunciate your words, Nyx. Festival of the Photocopier 2020 is happening in Melbourne this year. Woo! It's actually happening next month. It's coming up so quickly, and I am pleased as punch to say that Zines will be there. Now, I haven't been confirmed for a table yet, so I'm not sure if the distro will be there representing at a table, but even if I'm not, I will be there in person, wandering around and squealing and being all excited about all of your zines. And this year, my plan is to be there both days. Last year was amazing, but my one regret about it was only being able to go one day. And so this year is definitely, I want to do the whole weekend of awesomeness, because that will be super, 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 super brilliant. And I'm so excited, and yeah, all that good stuff. So yes, Festival of the excuse me. See, I'm getting excited and getting tongue-tied. Festival of the Photocopier is happening, and let me see, I don't have the it's a 2-day zine fest, and it's happening in February, and I don't have the exact weekend dates, and I don't want to guess. So what I'm going to do is say yet once more, check out those show notes, because there's going to be a lot packed in there. Yay! And have I mentioned that Festival of the Photocopier is put on by the amazing, awesome, wonderful Sticky Institute? Because that's definitely worth noting. And here we are at the Q&A section of the episode. I decided to start this year off with a nice warm-up sort of episode, I guess you could say, by asking people on Instagram to send me any sort of questions or any topics they wanted me to talk about here on this first episode of the year. And this is what I've chosen. I've chosen 4 of them. A few more came in, but don't want this show to be massively long, so let's dive in. And the first question from Her Mind Tapestry, which is an amazing name. Can I just say that? Love the name. Her Mind Tapestry wanted me to talk about my pets. Now, I did welcome non-zine related questions, so just in case you're wondering, and this has actually been mentioned a few times. People are curious about my lovely four-legged my four-legged housemates, who are wonderful, and all that good stuff. And people have asked about it to the point where I'm thinking that I really need to make a vlog episode that focuses on them, because I do love them very, very much, and I would love to share their awesome personalities with you. So given the nature of this podcast, that some of you watch the podcast on YouTube, but it does go out to various podcast apps, and so some of you will listen only. As I said, I do need to make a vlog and to really introduce you to the crew, the Zine Zoo. But I will give a brief introduction to them here. And yeah, we can just look forward to the vlog. So for the sake of the listeners, I won't be putting in any sort of listeners who aren't watchers. I won't be putting in any sort of video or anything like that, so it won't get confusing. So, my pets, who are they? First up, we have Asimov, my cat. He is a 10-year-old tabby named after the author Isaac Asimov, science fiction writer. And yeah, he's quite the personality. Cats are. Cats always are. But he's a cat who thought he was a dog for a while, which was very fun. And yeah, even though he's 10 years old, he's not settling down one bit. He's still the kitten who loves nothing more, though he would never admit it, who loves nothing more than being on his mama's lap. So Yes, my beloved, wonderful Asimov. And next, I have my beloved, wonderful puppy named Bryn. Bryn is a Staffy Cross, named after the author, another science fiction author named David Bryn. He is the biggest, whiniest sook you will ever meet. He loves cuddles, and he will sook, and he will use your sympathy to get all the cuddles and all the pats, because he will never ever get sick of any of them. So yes, he's my brindle boy. And then we have the one, the only, her royal divaness, my girl Zena. My dog. Sorry, Bryn's a dog and Zena's a dog. Just in case I hadn't made that clear. Zena is named after a science fiction author, Zena Henderson, and she is a big 8-year-old puppy. She never slows down. She has no understanding that she's not a puppy anymore. She will forever be my hyperactive girl. She's wonderful and enthusiastic and clumsy. And wonderful. So I know it's a brief introduction and all that stuff, but I hope that gets you excited, or maybe just looking forward to the the vlog about them a little bit more than previously. And there will be a vlog about them at some point in the future. So yes, a very brief introduction to the Zine Zoo. For the next question, Ladabule of Ladabule Art asked me about my favorite zines I've made. Now, usually this sort of question makes me feel a little bit weird, a little bit odd, because if a favorite of something I've made, I have some self-confidence issues and all that stuff. But I think when it comes to zines, it has to be my bullet journal zine. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, I would usually have a copy of the zine to wave around and all of that good stuff, but I do need to do stock numbers and do some more printing, because I just went to get a copy of the bullet journal zine called Bujo, and I am out of copies, which is no good at all. So yes, my bullet journaling zine, and I'll try to remember to put links in the show notes in case you're not familiar with bullet journaling. It's a sort of a way of planning. Now, the thing I really love about the bullet journal zine is that I didn't start out with the intention of making a zine. I actually started out with the intention of introducing a friend of mine to bullet journaling. She was looking for a way to organize herself and her time and wasn't quite sure how to do the planner or make a planner, or what kind of planner would fit all her needs. And I thought, bullet journal. And so I thought, as a fun project, I'll make an introductory booklet of sorts. And then, it ended up being this zine, first of all. But it was a zine that I'm actually kind of proud of, to be honest. It has color, it has drawings, it has descriptions, it has a bit of my silliness and humor in there, and I'm just it feels weird to say, but I'm really happy with it. I mean, I'll talk sorry, forgive me for being tongue-tied, but yes, it's just something I really enjoyed making. I really enjoyed turning into a zine. It is the biggest zine I've ever made. I think it's about 40 pages, if I recall. And even in that, I enjoyed it so much in the making of it. Like, I chose higher quality paper for it and color printing and all those little details to put together something I really enjoyed. And I think that having that kind of passion for the topic of the subject is really, really important for learning how to create things that you can be comfortable being proud of. And I know that's a journey, and it's a difficult journey, and it's also a topic for another day, to try to find this space to try to figure out how to enjoy, let alone share, the things you make. So I'll try to step back off the soapbox now. But yes, my bullet journal zine is definitely by far, maybe not by far, but is definitely my favorite zine I've ever created. Not by far, because I'm quite happy with the 24-hour zines that I've made, because they are based purely on suggestions made by friends on Instagram. But yeah, bullet journal still wins. For the next question, we have a bit of a two-parter from Zine Love. And Zine Love asks what my favorite moment of 2019 is and what my favorite moment of the 2010s is. For 2019, that's pretty easy. Festival of the Photocopier. And I know I've already been very enthusiastic about Festival of the Photocopier early in this podcast, so I will try to keep on target and keep focused. But yes, it's a wonderful experience in and of itself. It's amazing and so many things, but there were a lot more elements specifically for this Festival of the Photocopier. It wasn't the first one I've been to, but for this year, or this past year, seagreenzines tabled as a distro for the first time. I've tabled before as an individual, but yeah, I was a distro, and selling zines from all over the world was absolutely brilliant. And I had the free zine box as well, with people from all over the world also sent things, free zines to include in there as well. And it's just absolutely been 100% brilliant. And I also got to have a bit of a fangirl moment and got a selfie with Alex Rec, the one and only Stolen Sharpie Revolution fame Alex Rec, which is really, really cool. And I met some other friends who I've only communicated with online. I met them in person as well, which was absolutely brilliant, and made some new friends. It was a really, really special time. And that's why I'm looking forward to 2020. No matter what way I'm able to be there, I'm looking forward to experiencing all sorts of wonderful things again. So yes, that was easy peasy for 2019. In regards to the decade as a whole, that's a more complex question. There are far too many wonderful memories to pick just one. The past decade contains so many special moments for me, from my very first visit to Sticky Institute, believe it or not, and to starting the podcast, to going to my very first Zine Fest ever, which was, I believe, the 2016, or maybe I'm putting that a bit late. It might be in the 2014, but either way, a Festival of the Photocopier was my very first Zine Fest, and meeting so many of you. So many of you. You're wonderful. You're wonderful, wonderful people, and supportive and kind and enthusiastic, and just you're amazing. And the thing that I want all of you to know is how important you are to making all of this happen. The seagreenzines, the blog, the podcast, the YouTube channel, the Happy Mail Monday, everything is because of you. You've enabled, that's probably not the right word I want to use. You've made it possible, from sending me zines to review, to your support when I've had rough times, to your enthusiasm, to the kind comments people say every now and then, and just it's amazing and wonderful, and it keeps me motivated. It gives me purpose. Oh goodness, I'm back on a bit of a soapbox, aren't I? But it's a soapbox I want to be on, because I want you all to know, whether you've left a single word comment or donated to my zine collection or anything else in between, it's been wonderful, and it's been because of you that I'm here doing what I do. After so many years, there are so many resources and people and things like that because zines are what they are, and we don't often get paid for them, and all of the things, and I'm not going to get into that subject because that's another thing, but because of the nature of zines generally, it's easy for things to fade sometimes, but I'm still here after about a full decade doing what I do, thanks to you. So with all of my heart, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot possibly stop thanking you for your awesomeness. All of you. all of you, with all of my heart, thank you. I will calm down now. But yes, I think I've, through my rambling, have come to my favorite moments as a whole in the last decade. And it's been meeting and getting to know all of you. So yes, there we go. I got there in the end. Yay. Oh my goodness me. I know. Rolling right along, because the next question is also from Zine Love, and Zine Love wanted to know my 2020 vision. Oh, the puns will be thick and fast this year, that is for certain. 2020 vision. Thank you so much, Zine Love, for that particular joke, just to start my year off. That's good. Anyway, so about my 2020 vision. For me, 2020 is a year mostly in two parts, and it's kind of more vague and general and philosophical and things like that. So you'll have to bear with me a bit. But one part is getting back to who I am and getting back to what seagreenzines is. And the other part is truly figuring out who I am and what seagreenzines is. Now, I know that's vague, and goals are supposed to be SMART goals. Yes, sustain this. SMART. It's an acronym. I know that M is measurable. Something like that. But yeah, and I know it's very vague, but it's the journey I'm on right now. So there it is. I dropped my bundle a lot in 2019, and my biggest wish through a lot of it has been to find my way back to a sort of normalcy, whatever that means. It's become really important to me to make new routines for myself personally, but also for myself business wise, and get seagreenzines back on a track that it was really, I suppose it really did get on the tracks and to where I wanted it to be, with the podcast being once a fortnight and zine reviews every Thursday and Friday, calls for submissions, etc. Saturdays and Sundays, Happy Mail Mondays, so on and so forth. I like that routine. I like that consistency. And I felt like a lot of that fell away over this past year, and that makes me sad. And I know that I need to be gentle with myself and accepting of, things happened, and we have to deal with our mental spaces and deal with the realities in whatever way they come to us. But I am rambling once more. So it's not big, it's not grand, it's not incredibly specific by any means, but my vision for 2020 is not just getting back to a space of self and seagreenzines, but to a place that is improved for having gone through and for dealing with what I'm dealing with. I'm so vague. I'm so sorry. There will be a time when I am specific about so many things, but now is not that time, I'm afraid. But yes, I'd really love to. I'm thinking of Feral Publications, who Rich recently made a business plan sort of video. Definitely check out his channel for sure, 100% completely, especially if you want to get to know the business side of making zines. But again, ramble. But for me, it is all up in the air and vague. And the thing is, though, that it's hopeful once more, and that is what I'm grateful for, and that's what I want to focus on. Keep that vision, that vision in a space of hope and a space of working towards whatever I'm working towards, non-specifically. Oh my goodness. Hashtag not inspirational. Oh, goodness me. Okay. Moving right along. Now we come to the fifth question, Umbercito, and I'm going to have to apologize because I'm fairly sure I'm saying that wrong. So Sorry about that. But Umbracito asked, how do you cope with the feeling that everything you do is not worthy of sharing? And that is an amazing question. And I'm going to have to apologize because the more I think about how I feel about this question, the more I want to answer it. The words just keep flowing. There are so many facets of worthiness in work, self-confidence in work, coping with the feelings, all that. There's so much I want to say on the subject. I can only apologize here and say that I need a whole episode. I need a whole episode for this topic. I could go on here, but I feel like I would be rushing and not doing all of my thoughts justice, and I really want to take the time and really discuss this topic. So Umbracito, I'm so sorry, but your question was just so awesome. I need to have an entire episode for it. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to wrap things up there. But here we are. I do want to make a brief note that the consistency of future episodes of the podcast is still rather up in the air, but I am hoping to get it back on the schedule it's meant to be on, which is once a fortnight. So crossing fingers for all of that good stuff. And thank you. Thank you all so much once more. I know I thanked you a million times, but I'll thank you 1,000,001 because that's who I am. If you have any questions about zines and zine reviewings, reviewings? Did I just say reviewings? I do believe I did. If you have any questions about me, about zine reviews, about blogging about zines, about YouTubing about zines, of all the zine things, or it doesn't necessarily have to be zine related. I do answer questions like, I don't know, tea versus coffee. I'm not telling in this episode anyway. Let me know. My details are everywhere. It's easy to get a hold of me. Let me know if you have any questions and things like that. I am up for restructuring the podcast. If anybody wants me to bring back like a Q&A or a sort of question of the week or fortnight sort of thing. So just let me know. I'm here to answer questions. I don't know why anybody wants to ask me questions, because I'm just your fluffy zine enthusiast doing a thing here in the zine cave. Remember that everything I say is just my opinion. There are no gatekeepers in the zine-verse, nor should there be. Links, all the good things, all that stuff in the show notes below. Be sure to stop by the seagreenzines.com, where I review things and I post these videos and I chat and I post the calls and I do the things. seagreenzines.com is pretty much the hub of where all the things happen. So yes. And now we get to the legalese side of things required for the podcast. The music for this podcast, Spanish Summer by Audionautics, is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution license. And this is the Zine Collector. I am your host, Nyx. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, if you watch. Until next time, have some fun and spread a little sunshine. Mwah! It's been so long again. Hi.